Hey, how you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope your mental capacity is doing all right. I hope you're not feeling too much stress or anxiety. I hope that the people in your family that you're stuck with are not driving you crazy. I hope your neighbors aren't driving you crazy. I hope that things are going well considering, but most importantly, I hope you are healthy and I hope you're safe. Hey, over the last few days, actually, I've been talking about Moses and the 5 choices that he'd been making, and we have come down to the last choice he made was number 5. So the 5th choice that he makes is actually one that really challenges me, especially in this moment and in this season of all the things that are going on. Here's the thing that Moses made a choice, and it's a very powerful choice, and I think it's something that you can do and that I can do in this season that we're in right now. Moses, he refused to remain helpless and paralyzed. And attached to that, he refused to blame God and other people, and he refused to be overwhelmed despite his circumstances and all the things that were happening around him. Moses makes the choice to think out his steps, and he intentionally moves forward even if those steps are difficult. He decides that he's going to move forward and trust God and believe on all these things that God has told him. He's going to do them anyway despite all the things that are happening around him. The Israelites are full of anxiety and fear, and they're pushing in on him. They're dumping this fear and anxiety on top of Moses, and they're asking Moses to take them back to this comfortable life. And Moses says, hey, no, that's not what's best for you, and it's not what's best for me. This is not what God promised us. And we're going to hold on. We're going to hold on to what God told us to do. And guess what? We're going to do what God tells us to do. So he refused to allow that anxiety and that fear to influence his life in the way that he thought. Catch that, please. He refused to let the anxiety and fear of other people to influence his life and the way that he thought. Whew. I think that's a good word right there for the season that we're in right now. How are the people around you and the way they think and the anxiety and the fear, how are they influencing your life, and how are they influencing the way that you think? Moses refused to allow this fear and this anxiety to influence his life. And he does the hard part, which is hard for everyone, no matter what position you're in. He takes a very thoughtful, intentional step, and he figures out what are the thoughtful, intentional steps that I need to take in my life, and then he actually goes and does those things. Moses tells the Israelites this, that, hey, it's time for us to move on. You are not slaves anymore. We're not slaves. We are free. And God has said that we can be free. And he has promised us that we are going to go to this land, and all these things that he said he will give us, they will be a reality. They're not a pipe dream. It's a reality for you and for me. But we have got to go there. And so it's time for us to stop living in this slave mentality, because we're not slaves anymore. It's time for us to move forward. And guess what? Moses started to walk along, and the people started to follow him. He refused to let their anxiety and their fear to hold him back from experiencing the promises that God had given to him. One of the things that if Corona has taught you anything, and I know it's taught me this, that we're not in control. I always knew that we're not, but I think the reality has crashed down on all of us that say, hey, we're not in control anymore. But here's the thing. We may not be in control of our circumstances. There may be things that we cannot control in our life, but you are not helpless. You are not somebody that is helpless. There are things that you can do in this life, in this moment, in this season to help you thrive. And it all starts with this, your mind. And it all starts with this, your heart. Do you have Jesus in your heart? Do you have faith in your life that is driving the way that you look at the world and the way that you react to the things that are happening around you? And what voices are you allowing into your head? Are the voices, and sometimes the most dangerous voices are our own voices. So we must be careful of the voices that we allow into our head and the things that penetrate our heart. Because in this season, it could be extremely dangerous for all of us if we're not careful and allow our thinking and our heart to get out of whack. You're not helpless. There are things that you can choose. Yes, there are choices that have already been made for us, that we have to stay in the house, that we can't do what we want to do, but there are still things that you can do, and it all starts with your mind. How am I going to perceive my life? How am I going to perceive my faith? How am I going to perceive this circumstance? And what choices will I make so that I can thrive in this season? We're surrounded by fear and anxiety, and rightfully so, because we're in an unknown season and we've never been through this before. But that doesn't mean you have to be helpless. That doesn't mean that you have to be full of fear, full of doubt, full of anxiety. You can make the choice to change how you perceive the world. And you can live the kind of life that God has promised you. And those promises can be a reality in your life, but the first step for that to happen is that you have to choose. What choices will you make in this unknown season? Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I seriously do. I've been praying for lots of you, especially the people at the table communities. I pray that you're safe and you're healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually, the whole gamut. And here's the thing. We're stuck, man. We're stuck in the house. We can't get away. And so I just want to tell you that if you're stuck in the house, you're feeling the anxiety and the fear start to overcome you, reach out to me and talk to me, and I will do the best I can to help you through this season. But the best thing you can do is make a choice. The choices help determine how we live and the impact we have on our own life and the lives of the other people. And I hope that is what you've learned through these 5 choices that Moses has made.